Hey there, it's Andrea with Good Diaper Free. I'm going to record episode 121 of my podcast for you today, and it's all about praise. Welcome to the Good Diaper Free podcast, where we're all about helping you potty your baby as early as birth. I'm your host, Andrea Olson, author and mom of 5 babies, all EC'd from birth, all out of diapers by walking. This is episode 121, Praise. To praise or not to praise when doing elimination communication or toilet training. That is the question. So you can read the written version of today's show over at godiaperfree.com/121, where I will link to everything I mentioned in today's episode. And I'll also be replying to comments over there. So come on by. Our conversations are awesome. When you're finished listening, come on by. Is praising during potty training good or bad? Should we praise our babies when they use the potty while doing elimination communication? What do you think? This is a great question and one that I feel very strongly about. Praise can be communicated in many different ways. There are some ways that I advise against and some ways that are sort of more neutral. Depending on the way it's used and whether it's for internally motivated or externally motivated behavior, that's the question there. That's the most important part. EC and toilet training both involve internally motivated behaviors. So we want our children, our babies, to be motivated to use the potty from within, not from you or someone else telling them they need to go. If your child is externally motivated to use the potty to please you or earn a sticker or an M&M, then the potential for rebellion and a dysfunctional relationship to toileting is nigh. I'm going to share with you an excerpt from my book about why I no longer praise, and I really hope that it helps you a lot. What to say when you catch a pee or poop. So lots of people have different ideas about this, differing opinions on this. Some people praise the baby. Some people praise the action. Others just reflect what they see or what they're seeing or what they saw. Others state their pleasure, and still others say nothing. After much research, experience, and thought, I recommend that you either, number 1, reflect and notice, or number 2, say nothing after your baby pees or poops in the potty. Before I get to those, here's a bit about why I no longer praise my babies. After a catch, I used to praise and, albeit positively, judge. In the beginning, I would excitedly say, good pee-pee, good poo-poo, and praise my first baby for going. You can see proof of this in most of the videos I taped before I had this epiphany. After about 5 months of EC, I reassessed this choice though, and I decided to stop praising and to start reflecting instead. Why? Well, I learned that as we praise children for anything, they begin to do things to receive our praise and thus become extrinsically motivated. My hopes for my babies are the opposite. I want them to be motivated from within themselves, and especially about something that's an internal bodily process that is quite natural. So further, when I would say that a pee-pee is good, I imply that there is also a bad version out there. The child may think, well, if I don't do it right, am I bad? This type of positive or negative language comes across as criticism and judgment, even if it's well-intentioned. I did not do any permanent damage. My tone was totally appropriate and gentle and kind. And we all say good job, right? It's okay sometimes, I guess. But going to the bathroom is a natural process, stemming from an inner motivation to take care of your hygiene, and is not meant to happen out of a motivation to please you. So let's get on to what you could say when you catch a pee or poop besides praising. So there are 2 here. Number 1 is reflect and notice. The alternative to praise is reflecting or noticing. This means describing what you see your baby do without making a big deal about it. If you know me and you've known me for long, you know that I'm all about being low key. So you can even notice how you feel inside and just express that. Keep it not about the baby at all, but about how you feel. So here are some examples of how to do this. You're peeing as they're going, and you can also sign. For those of you seeing the video, you can see this is the T, shaking side to side. You went pee or poop in the sink. And again, if you're doing EC, you know what I mean. If you're not doing EC, you're like, oh, why would you use the sink? It's easier on the back and breastfed babies. Waste is benign when it comes out. You peed on the carpet. Pee-pee belongs in the bathroom. Let's go. You pooped in the potty. I'm excited. That's where poop goes. Yay. You feel relief because you pee-peed. So for those of you who are into identifying emotions and giving emotional intelligence to your child, you can name the feeling. What a relief to pee. It feels good to go pee outside of your diaper, doesn't it? You went poo-poo. The noise reflects the feeling of release and also can encourage more poop to come out if they have it. And you guys, even words just as simple as yay or wow or hooray will communicate the satisfaction you feel when she pees in the desired place. Because we do want to show appropriate emotional responses, right? But we don't want to overdo it. Now, the second thing that you can do after your child has peed or pooped successfully in the toilet or the potty or the proper place is say nothing. What? Say nothing. In cultures where infant pottying is the norm, most parents say nothing upon a successful potty. Parents, sisters, siblings, brothers, aunts, uncles, they don't say anything. It's expected that the baby should ask to go to pee or should ask for help to pee, and the parent or person should take her, or that an unspoken intuition should guide it all. It's just part of what they do. It's not really an exciting event because it is so socially ingrained as part of the norm, and thus there's never a big deal made of pottying. It's a natural given. It's something given, handed down generationally. It's just part of the culture. Lori Bouquet writes in her book, Infant Potty Training, which if you don't have, please go to the show notes. Go to diaperfree.com/121 and definitely grab a copy of that book. She writes that some parents in intact cultures become upset about a miss in the middle of the kitchen. They're real about it. After the baby is old enough to know better, they're real about it. But never do they become upset with the child nor make her feel wrong. They just express honestly that that's not cool. They're only displeased with the activity, not with the child. This displeasure clearly and honestly demonstrates to the child which behaviors are acceptable and which are not. So this leaves the question, which way is correct, number 1 or number 2? Simply weigh whether you want to raise your child to be intrinsically motivated, which is reflecting or saying nothing, or extrinsically motivated, which is praising and giving M&Ms and stickers. Many of us, and also by the way, when we're doing EC, we're dealing with a lot younger kids. So 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, sometimes a very properly well-placed prize for getting them over a hump of potty training could be appropriate, but not every single time they go, and definitely not with children who are 0 to 18, 20 months old doing EC. So many of us have been conditioned to say it. So if good job slips out, it probably won't obliterate your baby's internal desire to do what's socially expected, but just avoid good boy or good girl. So here's what you could say after a miss. So those are things you can say after you've caught a pee or poop, right? What could you say after a miss? So if you had a miss, i.e. baby peed before you could offer her the potty, acknowledge, or peed in their diaper or pooped somewhere, whatever. Acknowledge that by saying something like, you peed in your pants. Let me know next time and I'll help you put in the potty. Just be easy on yourself. It is literally not the end of the world if you have a miss. That's actually part of the process. Communication is what EC is all about. You want to model the kind of self-love that your baby will have, right? So be nice to mom or dad, okay? And ask yourself, now what did mommy or daddy learn from that? The best information is gathered by a miss. And again, this is about communication. What are we going to learn from this process that is not linear? What you could say after a misguess? So if you've misguessed his need to potty, i.e. he didn't have to go after all, but you've offered and nothing comes out, acknowledge that gently. You can say to your baby, oh, you don't need to go after all. Okay. Let me know next time. Keep pants dry. Never feel like you have to apologize to your baby. You didn't do anything wrong by offering. So long as you're gentle and you're open and you're non-coercive, you are trying your best. And next, you can ask yourself here, now what did mommy or daddy learn from that? Great information can be gathered from a misguess. And again, it's all information. And now let's talk about, lastly, gratitude after a catch. After a smooth interaction, baby signals, or it's time, I offer the potty, he pees. I often say, thank you for letting mama know you had to go pee. If it feels right for you to do that, gratitude is an awesome thing to model for your children. Hey, thanks for telling me. Great. Or yay, we did it. So there you have it. If you want to raise a child who is not using the toilet to please anyone but him or herself, I highly recommend you avoid praise around pottying. Again, this is for internally motivated behaviors and bodily processes like using the potty during toilet training and EC. If you do praise the activity or just show your joy. I always do that. I always say, yay, we did it. But do not say good girl or good boy, because that implies that they could be bad if they don't do it. And the possibility that they will act out against that idea as a 2 or 3-year-old, especially as they age, is very high. So rebellion could be heightened by this, just a warning. But more than anything, it's manufactured. This type of praise isn't based on truth. We are not good or bad for using the toilet or not. We use a toilet to have good hygiene. It's just what we do, matter of fact. Now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments over at godiaperfree.com/121. Please share your thoughts on praise. Do you do it or do you not, and why? And remember, there are differing kinds of praise out there, so be specific and let's be really kind to one another in those comments as we share, because sometimes this can be a controversial topic, to be honest. I really look forward to speaking with you there. This has been episode 121 of the Go Diaper Free podcast. Till next time, happy pottying all. I'm Andrea Olson, and you can find me at godiaperfree.com. All right, there you have it. Thanks for bearing with my mistake earlier. Now, below this video, let me know, how do you feel about praise? Do you do it? Do you not? Is there a specific thing I'm missing, or is there something that you've learned today? Comment below, hit the bell, and subscribe, and I'll let you know next time we have a video up. Bye.